Here I stand discovering today that my wife has been unfaithful. It seems she connected with a man during a business trip to a restaurant, and this affair has been unfolding for the past couple of months. Ironically, it began as an attempt to assist him through troubles in his own marriage. She was planning to meet him next week. I stumbled upon the truth when I noticed lingering evidence in her suitcase, an item she doesn't even wear for me. This marks my second marriage, and oddly enough, the same betrayal occurred in my first marriage. Am I truly that inadequate in bed? Regardless, I understand this is a common occurrence. Hell, I devoted a good year and a half to a marriage forum last time. But damn, the pain is real. I'm trembling right now in shock, uncertain of what to do. Part of me wants to flee, take the kids and my belongings and never face her again. But then there's the conflicting desire to reach out, to kiss her and express that we can overcome this with therapy. Yet she betrayed me. She insists she loves me and wants to salvage our relationship. I'm just lost and in pain. Thus, divorce, forums, here I am again. Thank you. I believe I'll spend some time reading. I'm deeply hurt and angry at the moment, but I can't take any action. There's a kids' party at my house right now and I have to put on a facade. I'm telling people I got a flu shot and I'm feeling the effects. I just want to let out a scream. And he's married. So this is all new for me today. Just yesterday I had complete trust in her. It all started when I discovered the lingerie, and my suspicions skyrocketed. Her work email was open, so I decided to check it. That's when I found the emails tucked away in the deleted folder, complete with his name. He resides quite a distance away. We're in the Midwest and he's located in the South. She encountered him in a city on the East Coast. It was at a restaurant or bar, I'm not sure. And yes, she had intentions of meeting him this week. She's still planning to go. The work trip was legitimate. I guess he was an additional factor. I insisted on no contact, just a text. Tonight I'm gonna have her hand over her phone to confirm if that's what she did. He's also connected to her on LinkedIn. She's unaware that I know this. We'll see if that connection disappears or not. I can't be certain. This situation is frustrating. The emails contained phrases like, "Sorry to stalk you, you're not, I like it, and I found a note from you with a smiley face along with plain reservations." Although her words sound remorseful and right, I can't bring myself to trust her. Whatever she says right now wouldn't make a difference. Trust is hard to rebuild. My body trembles incessantly, sleep eludes me, and I find it hard to eat. Yet, I must summon the strength not only to look after my 2 children, but also to feign normalcy in their presence. I'm sincerely sorry that you're experiencing this. I wholeheartedly concur with your sentiments. It's 1 a.m. I haven't stayed up this late in quite a while. I'm 38 now, feeling as old as the hills. The last time I pulled an all-nighter like this, I was 28. Wow, still surprised to find myself here again. Well, we had a conversation tonight, filled with tears. I called her a cheating, hurtful name, and we cried. I expressed my love for her and we cried. You know how the story goes. She insists she wants me, not him. According to her, it happened twice with him, the second night they met and during the subsequent business trip. She claims she texted him that it was over as soon as she found out I knew. She deleted him from her phone, along with the message she sent. She attempted to retrieve it from the deleted messages to show me, but couldn't find it. I know what you're thinking, and I'm thinking it too. I think it was at this point I called her that hurtful name. She claims I'm not open and don't communicate. According to her, she isn't attracted to me, but wishes she were. She asserts it's not my fault, and being physically unattracted isn't solely a physical matter. But she expresses a desire to work on it, whatever it takes. She's heading to Maryland tomorrow, but she insists there's no way she'll see him. She doubts he'll come now, and if he did, she assures me she would promptly send him away. She contemplates canceling the trip, but that would entail quitting her job as she's the keynote trainer for a significant training class. It's all just words for now. There hasn't been time for actions. She's set on going. Whether she'll see him, I don't know, but throughout her absence, all I can think about is him being with her. Apologies for being explicit. My mental state is a bit strained right now. By the way, I actually said those exact words to her. Honestly, I feel like just typing away. If you've got other places to be, feel free to stop reading. No big deal. I think they call this opening up and letting things out. I struggle with that in front of people. When I joined Ojar 10 years ago after discovering my first wife's infidelity, my initial words were, I lost my wife, I lost my life, I am dying inside, I am so alone and nobody in the world cares. I was in a state of depression back then, not quite suicidal but dangerously close. I believe I felt worthless after enduring years of emotional abuse. Things are different now. Oh my god, am I angry? It hurts like hell, but I'm not in a state of depression. I know I'm a good man, and I will find happiness again. At the moment, I'm not certain if it's returning to the present moment. I suppose the silver lining for me in this situation is that it was a new affair. When referring to affairs, do you just use a? It's been ongoing for about a month, and she claims they were physically involved twice. In reality, it's probably less than a handful of times, but certainly not just twice. They communicated nearly daily by phone during that period. She insists she's glad I caught her, and that it ended so soon. She's uncertain about what she was doing or why, making it somewhat easier for her to break it off. According to the web, 30 to 60% of all people cheat at some point, so I certainly am not rare. Some might say I'm lucky, as she seems genuinely interested in making things right. We'll be together or not, but I will find happiness again. Here's the challenging part. She expressed a wish that I had cheated on her, stating that I deserved better than her and a fulfilling sex life. These are the same words I heard in my first marriage, and I didn't appreciate them then, nor do I now. Someone inquired about why she admitted to cheating. Well, according to her, she isn't physically attracted to me and she feels I'm closed off and don't share my feelings. She wasn't happy and sensed a void. She believes I deserve someone better than her. She also mentioned freezing up whenever I touched her. Let's delve into that aspect. We met following my first wife's divorce. She had been divorced for several years, and I was still finalizing my paperwork. I was in the best shape of my life, even sporting a budding six-pack. Our intimacy was fantastic. Despite a surgery earlier in her life that made pregnancy challenging, one New Year's Eve, we decided not to use protection. 2 weeks later, I discovered she was pregnant. 3 months after that, I proposed. When the baby was 9 months old, we tied the knot. We even have a wedding picture with the three of us. Unfortunately, our intimate life declined after the baby was born, or perhaps even during the pregnancy. Her initial marriage resulted from a high school pregnancy, and she felt compelled to marry him, harboring strong negative feelings. Some of those sentiments seem to have carried over to our marriage. While she doesn't harbor hatred toward me, she physically withdraws whenever I try to touch her, citing the lingering impact of her first marriage. So the lack of physical attraction doesn't stem from my appearance. I'm currently 15 pounds overweight and still 25 pounds away from those budding abs. It appears to be linked to her sense of being forced into this relationship. I even question if it relates to concerns about my size, perhaps an anxiety about my penis appearing smaller than expected. I measured just under 6 inches, which I understand is within the normal range. Well, for some of us guys, it goes there anyway, just providing insight into my current mental state. As I mentioned, we cried. Rude remarks were exchanged. She apologized. I cried more. She uttered all the right words for a situation like this, but I didn't believe a single syllable. She suggested we go to bed together, and I agreed. I remained distant but vocalized that I couldn't relax. She asked if she could hold me, and I reluctantly said yes. As she held me, I told her I wouldn't touch her until she was tested for STDs. She insisted she didn't need to be, to which I responded that if he was involved, perhaps she should. She eventually agreed to get tested. We stayed in that uneasy embrace for another 10 minutes until I couldn't bear it any longer and went downstairs. An hour of sleeplessness later, I find myself deciding to embark on this novel. Wide awake and alone, almost like a scene from a movie. In response to this, the way she sees it is, she believes she needs to see him one more time for closure. In reality, that translates to them meeting. She'll express that it needs to end, but it's likely to result in them having sex. Afterward, they'll stay in touch, exchanging "how are you doing" messages, and eventually they'll agree to meet one more time for closure. I wish I could deny your accuracy this time, but I can't. She rescheduled her flight to tomorrow morning instead of today. This morning I took her phone and conducted a thorough search, exploring everything I could think of. I didn't uncover anything significant. We're in the midst of a conversation. I conveyed to her that if she genuinely wants us, she has to fight for both us because I'm uncertain if I want to fight for our relationship at all. She's aware that she's on the verge of losing me. I refrained from searching LinkedIn while she was away. I've decided to wait until she returns. Perhaps that's where she assumes I won't think to look. I appreciate your straightforwardness. I need the straightforwardness to cut through the bull. In fact, she did suggest quitting her job and finding one without travel. I declined, expressing my reluctance to deal with an additional financial crisis. Both of us earn six figures and our expenses are substantial enough to fully utilize our income. In response to this, you should by now realize that your wife is not being truthful. Affirmative. In response, make it clear to her what she needs to do in order for you to reconcile. I'm uncertain if I even want reconciliation. In response, I have already burned all her lingerie. It's already in the trash. Less smoke with kids around. In response, I have made her get tested for STDs. Both of us are considering it. I won't engage physically until she's been tested, and even after that, I'm unsure if I want to. Someday, I hope to find happiness like you have, but that day isn't today. Meanwhile, she's currently on a plane. Regarding finding a good marriage counselor, do they even work? She appears to be truthful. He isn't in DC with her. I'm still in a state of panic. I've lost 7 pounds over the past 2 days, and I've barely managed 5 hours of sleep each night. I'm aware that I need to prioritize self-care, but right now, even the thought of food makes me nauseous, and achieving rest feels impossible. Day 3 since the discovery has commenced. It seems like I've been navigating through this for weeks, when in reality it's only been a couple of days. Time is dragging its feet, minutes feel like hours, hours stretch into days, and days seem to elongate into weeks. Her return tomorrow night feels like an eternity away. Sleep was somewhat improved last night, maybe around 3 hours. Still struggling with eating, and I've lost 10 pounds. Yes, she informed me that the only thing she hadn't deleted was LinkedIn, because she wasn't sure how to do it from her phone. However, later that day he was no longer connected. This conversation occurred on Sunday before she left, and I didn't bring up LinkedIn with her. I'm aware that the weight loss is concerning. It's something that worries me, but right now, the thought of food is repulsive. While I recognize that seeking help is essential, I'm unsure who to talk to and how to manage it with 3 kids, work responsibilities, and her absence. Day 4 since the discovery. Emotionally, I felt more stable yesterday, at least enough to get some work done. I managed to get 4 hours of sleep last night, which is the most since D-Day. I also had a couple of granola bars. The total weight loss is now at 12 pounds. She's returning from DC today, and I'm trying to emotionally prepare. I am emotionally preparing myself for the possibility that this could be D-Day number 2. I intend to conduct a thorough search, including checking her work email for undeleted messages, as I found some in the deleted folder on D-Day. I will also be checking Facebook and LinkedIn for any deleted messages, as well as reviewing phone records. I plan to go through everything in her suitcase and backpack. While I hope not to find anything, I am scared that I might. I am now starting to consider the possibility that she may have cheated on me before this particular guy. I will address this concern as a new topic, although it is unsettling. I am on the verge of tears, just contemplating the possibility of uncovering something else. My next course of action will be to thoroughly search everything when she gets home and determine if today marks D-Day number 2. We will have to wait and see. The marriage counseling is set for 1 week from now, leaving ample time between then and now. I have made it clear that I will not allow her to touch me unless she undergoes testing. Even then, I am uncertain if I would be willing. It is not just about her desire, which may be driven by pity. The sense of being married has faded for me. I find myself contemplating holding a symbolic funeral for the woman I married. It's frustrating because objectively, I do not consider myself unattractive. At 38 years old, 6 feet tall, and currently weighing 212 pounds down from 225, I maintain a fitness routine, am fairly strong, and even receive occasional flirtation from other women. I believe I am more attractive than other men, in my opinion. However, there is a significant similarity between her first husband and me. She got pregnant before we were married. Unfortunately, her first husband was unkind to her, and she confided in me today that she felt violated during their marriage. Now, she seems to project those emotions onto me, resulting in a lack of attraction. She sought individual counseling about 2 years into our relationship due to our sexual issues. While there was a temporary improvement for a few weeks, we quickly regressed to our previous state. She expressed a desire to fix it, but I am afraid she may be unable to. It feels like the woman with her name does not exist anymore, and the new person is someone I do not really know. D-Day +5, taking it one day at a time. Now I believe it's a combination of both factors 1 and 2. I am optimistic that she can regain her attraction to me. I recognize that it will require her to feel emotionally connected to me. I am not blameless for her feelings in our marriage, and I've likely deceived myself for a long time about the state of our relationship. There was a void present. She was the planner and dreamer, while I was the procrastinator and escapist. My escape involved getting engrossed in rather mindless phone games. I was probably addicted to them. That's phone games, not porn. Specifically Clash of Clans. I bear no guilt for her affair, but I acknowledge my responsibility in the challenges within our marriage. Last night I conducted a search on her computer and discovered additional emails and messages from the other man. My wife isn't particularly tech-savvy or adept at erasing evidence, although she made an attempt. I managed to find it, although she's likely more cautious now after witnessing me uncover things she believed were gone. The content of the messages wasn't as distressing as my expectations. Contrary to what my imagination led me to believe, the content of their written communication wasn't as alarming. However, the overall impression I got was that engaging in this secret affair was an exciting game for them. It was something they claimed they would never do, yet they were actively participating and thoroughly enjoying it. They attempted to arrange meetings every time she traveled, although they couldn't make it happen consistently. I did catch one lie. She had informed me that they would have separate rooms at the hotel, but in reality they shared one. I'm unsure why she would lie about such a seemingly minor detail, especially considering the other aspects she did disclose to me. He composed a song for her, a parody of Lord's Royals, and it was poorly written. It contained a few explicit phrases related to their intimate moments, but the majority of the song centered around their secret affair and the notion that they shared something extraordinary that no one else knew about. In response, she expressed that no one had ever written her a song before, and she loved it. If I possessed the inclination to cheat and were in his shoes, I might speculate that my wife fulfilled the fantasy he had always dreamed of, an exceptionally attractive woman who rendezvoused with him in hotels for intimate encounters and remained exclusive to him. A beautiful woman who not only engaged in physical intimacy, but also listened to his problems and supported his dreams, particularly those that others might overlook. He has interests in race car driving and songwriting. The things she wrote to him make me believe he was her first affair. I unintentionally broke a promise that I had made here, after a night of holding her hand, but otherwise maintaining distance in bed. We woke up, hugged, and then more ensued. I provided her with 2 orgasms for the first time ever, all with our clothes on. Subsequently, we removed our clothes and engaged in sex. It marked the first time we had sex without her freezing up, as I initiated physical contact. Afterward, she expressed disbelief, stating that she couldn't believe we just had amazing sex. It seemed as if she was surprised it was possible with me, but she was genuinely pleased about it. The mental images had been haunting me incessantly, but when I hugged her this morning, they vanished, and it was just her and me. I understand I vowed not to touch her unless she was tested, and I regrettably didn't uphold that promise. 6 days until marriage counseling feels like an eternity. We have a lot to address and work on, taking it one day at a time. Last night, I managed to get 5 hours of sleep, and my weight loss has reached 13 pounds. I just completed my workout, which includes a station with a punching bag. I've always punched with intensity, but today I visualized his face on the bag. It felt as if I were blacking out, focusing solely on his image. I hit the bag with tremendous force today, and it felt incredibly satisfying. After the session, 2 classmates and the instructor approached me, acknowledging that I punch with a significant amount of power. It's also unsettling for me. I fear that I hit with enough force that if I were to connect with another man, I could inflict serious injury. The last time I was in a physical altercation was in 7th grade. I and the other person ended up in the hospital. I never want to harm someone, but if another man were in my presence, I'm uncertain if I could control myself. In response to the suggestion that I should use the threat of ending the marriage to instill fear in her, or at least warn of a severely damaged relationship, wow, that's a frightening proposition. I recognize the need for counseling. Handling these issues on my own is proving to be too challenging. I acknowledge that you're correct. I was already sensing it, but your words compelled me to admit it. Today we went to lunch together for sushi and sat at the bar. Initially everything seemed fine, but as we waited for the food, thoughts crossed my mind about how she met him at a restaurant bar, likely sitting together just like we were. Suddenly the mental movie began, and it shook me. When she noticed that something was amiss, I mustered the words mental movie. She grabbed my hand, expressing concern and apologizing. Fortunately, almost simultaneously, the food arrived, interrupting the distressing mental imagery. This is terrible. Why didn't we address our issues before it reached this point? Insert crying emoji here, because that's what I want to convey right now. Damn it, you're making too much sense. But thank you for consistently grounding me in reality. Love and sex have a way of clouding one's judgment. She attended a soccer game tonight. This time, I conducted another search of all her belongings without her presence, but I didn't discover anything else. Her next trip is scheduled in a week and a half, followed by another one in early December. He is aware of these plans. For the upcoming trip in a week and a half, they didn't intend to meet. He couldn't make it. However, he had plans to join her on the trip in December. If there is a next time, catching her will be much more challenging. She has witnessed my investigative skills, so she'll likely be more cautious. This time she was careless, leaving easily discoverable clues all over. I genuinely hope there won't be a next time. Another issue I'll need to navigate is what will prevent me from seeking revenge or engaging in a retaliatory affair. I frequently embark on business trips myself, having traveled extensively around the world. I've observed many women seeking American businessmen, but I've never been interested in pursuing such connections. Presently, I have no inclination towards it. However, I have witnessed colleagues, suppliers, and customers succumb to these temptations. Will I, in a moment of rage and opportunity, succumb to the same behavior? I would like to believe I am better than that. But once more, I sincerely hope it doesn't happen. C6. Sleep last night. I don't believe so. Weight holding steady at a total loss of 13 pounds. I feel as though clarity has lifted me from a fog. I confronted her sternly last night. I expressed numerous negative sentiments about the other man and a few about her. I made it clear that I had been in a fog and that this was me waking up. I conveyed to her that our marriage is far from being saved. We engaged in hours of conversation. I'm completely drained. Today I'm traveling for work, a 3-hour car journey. Coffee is a must. D-Day, Plotzy 7. I've made it through a week, although it feels like a year. Sleep. I took sleep pills, managing 7 hours. Weight, holding steady at a total loss of 13 pounds. I have to go to work today at the plant, facing a 3-hour drive. I'm anxious about the possibility of falling asleep while driving. I'm just so tired. Is there any rationale to make an effort at all? Regardless of my actions, there's nothing I can do to guarantee that she won't repeat the same behavior. Even if she were to quit her job, I wouldn't have absolute certainty. She appears devastated and genuinely remorseful, shedding tears multiple times. She has proposed quitting her job to eliminate the need for travel. Today, I communicated with her about the difficulty I have in believing that he never reached out to her after her initial "don't contact me" text. I pointed out that they had a physical and emotional relationship for 7 weeks with daily conversations, making it unlikely to sever ties so easily. I emphasized that if she is concealing the truth to spare my feelings, she shouldn't. She responded via call, which I couldn't take due to work. Acknowledging my perspective and expressing understanding, she stated that she won't pretend it has been easy to refrain from contacting him. However, she assured me that she is fully committed to repairing the damage she caused and is concentrating on us. I conveyed to her that if she engages in conversation with him, she will eventually be discovered. Additionally, if he reaches out to her, she should inform me immediately. Her response was that she has no inclination to escape accountability and emphasizes her need for me. I pointed out that we're deceiving ourselves if we dismiss the fact that she may want to talk to him. We need to address how to manage it if the urge to contact him becomes overpowering. She concurred with my proposal. I'm currently in the process of purchasing an audio recorder today. This way, if she does engage in conversation with him, there will be evidence. I'm currently at the store, acquiring the voice recorder. You're welcome for the reading material. I'm contemplating giving RA a shot. Perhaps I'm going through the motions, but it's too early to confirm that I'm genuinely committed. D-Day plus 8. 6 hours. Improved, but not up to my usual weekend standard. Weight, down 1 pound, totaling a loss of 14 pounds. Yesterday was challenging, marking the 1-week anniversary of D-Day. This morning we had a conversation about refraining contacting him. She mentioned that it isn't particularly difficult for her not to reach out, emphasizing that he needed her more than she needed him. She has consistently conveyed that she was attempting to assist him and found satisfaction in being needed. She expressed feeling out of character during the situation, describing it as if she were in a movie. Oops, she just walked in. I smoothly tucked this side away without a flinch. It's a good thing I wasn't the one who cheated. I'm adept at concealing things. We'll finish later. Today I concealed the voice recorder. It's hard to believe I took such a step. Why am I in a marriage where I feel compelled to spy on her? I once loved and trusted her with everything I had. And now I find myself having to scrutinize every word she says in her office while I'm away. I feel like a terrible person, but she turned me into this version of myself. All I want to do is crawl into my bed, sleep, and pretend this isn't real. I have one more step to take to implement this fully. I need to go through the phone records and her email in front of her again. I want to illustrate that using them isn't a secure option. She has a phone on her computer that she uses for work, and it lacks a call log. I've never called her on it, and she informed me about it over a year ago when she first acquired it. Since then, it has vanished from my awareness. When she first acquired it, since then, it has vanished from my awareness. I typically call on her cell phone. When she returned from her trip and I examined her belongings in her presence, I overlooked it. However, I discovered an email early on from her to him instructing him to call her on it, saying, "Because I can only hear it if I am at my computer. It is safe. I don't think he even remembers I have it." So with her away, I investigated, and indeed it doesn't have a call log. If she chooses to communicate with him, it will be through that phone, and my voice recorder will capture it. Another challenging day. When will it end? I know. A long time. Blah. D-Day plus 9. Sleep 6 hours. Normal for weekdays. Weight down 1 pound. Now at a total loss of 15 pounds. I'm leaving for work today for 3 days. It will be a long 3 days, with 16 hours in the plant each day. I'm tired of hurting. I'm scared of what I'll find on the car when I get back. I ordered one of the books that Steady Chevy suggested for her. Having a really tough night. I'm in a hotel. She cheated on me in a hotel. Make the movie stop, please, somehow. D-Day plus 10. Sleep 3 hours. Wait. Don't know. In a hotel. Last night was horrendous, sleeping in this hotel. The movies never stopped. I tend to message her during the night when I can't sleep, telling her what I'm feeling. Last night, I sent her a link to the song "I'm Not the Only One" by Sam Smith. That song and the video describe my feelings well. D-Day plus 11. This has turned, this has turned into a journal. I hope that's okay. Sleep was okay. Weight down 1 pound, 16 pounds total. My voice recorder failed. I got 14 hours of nothing. I will change the settings and try again. She never watched the song I sent. She said it would be too painful. She knew the song already. She says she felt like I sent it to punish her. And it made her put up a wall. That's not the response I wanted. I took the day off work today. We are going to the gym together after the kids get on the bus. Then, we are going to have sex when we get home from the gym. We have our first marriage counseling session tonight. I hope it goes well. The recorder did work. I listened to her talking to me on the phone, and I heard her talking to the pool builder guys. I haven't heard anything alarming on the recorder yet. The gym, shower, and sex were pushed back. She has a meeting and can't go. Edit again. She presented me with an apology card today. She expressed that she never anticipated needing to offer something like that, and she deeply regrets the mistakes she made. Now she recognizes the need to address and rectify them. D-Day plus 12. Weight and sleep remained consistent. During our session last night with the marriage counselor, the focus was primarily on him getting to know us and understanding our relationship. Initially, we shared details about the affair, but he directed the conversation towards communication, needs, and feelings predating the affair. Surprisingly, he didn't attribute the affair to those factors, but instead chose to explore our dynamics before the incident. Towards the end, my wife reintroduced the topic of the affair, expressing our struggles in dealing with it and suggesting the need for assistance in that aspect before addressing the underlying issues. After returning home last night, we engaged in extensive conversations and shared many tears. She expressed her desire to move forward, emphasizing that she is certain the affair has ended, and she has no intention of repeating such a mistake. However, she acknowledged and understood my inability to easily move on. The lack of certainty about the unknown leaves me feeling unsafe and fearful at this moment. She has individual counseling on Sunday. Her birthday is on Monday. She departs for Boston on Tuesday for work. I have individual counseling on Wednesday. She returns from Boston on Thursday. D-Day plus 13. Sleep appears to be back to normal. I will cease journaling it. Weight-wise, I consumed more yesterday than in a while, but my nutrition is still not optimal. I am concerned about my health. That's why I am tracking sleep and weight. I finished listening to the voice recorder from Monday and Tuesday. It seemed to run out on Monday night, and I didn't catch anything on it. However, I need more tape. I'm home today on vacation, but I'll set it up to record on Monday while I'm gone. She leaves on Tuesday. If she plans to meet him, you would think she would talk to him on Monday. Remember, she has a phone on her computer without call logging, and if I'm gone, she is safe. Well, of course, my recorder will catch her if she contacts him. Things aren't great between us. She's slipping back into ignoring my needs again. We talked about that again this morning. I have no idea if it will make a difference. It makes me wonder what she truly feels. I know she could be lying to me and cake eating, but she could also be telling the truth. That's the difficulty of affairs. You never really know afterwards. I find it challenging to read everyone else's posts here. It seems so clear-cut, and it frustrates me that the writer can't see the truth and figure out what to do. I really respond, I wonder if that is how I come across now. She doesn't have a bad attitude and isn't aloof. The issue last night was that we were supposed to share a bath after the kids went to bed. Instead, she was searching for a way to cook a turkey and all the sides. Then she mentioned feeling tired, but if she stayed up longer, she needed to eat. She then remembered the bath and said if I still wanted it, she would join me. My problem was that I wanted her to genuinely want it, and she didn't. I wished it was something she was looking forward to, but she wasn't. Her words and attitude have been very positive about this, and everything is indicating that it's over with him. However, I also sense that her attraction to me is not fully there. It's frustrating how clear it seems to others, but is elusive for me to see. D-Day plus and 14. I made it 2 weeks. Feeling a bit down today, we are choosing option 1. It will be a slow process though. She is reading the book I got her and trying to follow its advice. Honestly, she was mostly already doing the things recommended in it. We had an intimate moment this morning. She allowed me to touch her and we both enjoyed it. It's a significant change from the last few years when my touch would make her freeze. This time it was an act just for me, and it felt nice. But thoughts of the other man and her have pulled me away from the positive feelings this morning. D-Day plus and 14. I went a whole day without adding anything here,